Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be, I don't actually know what type of reading this is going to be. I just felt called to come on and get some guidance for you. So we're going to use this oracle deck. It's one of my favorite oracle decks. I say that about a lot of decks though. They're all my favorite. So this could be love related, or it could be just general for you. But I'll probably go through, with this deck, there's different descriptions for, like there's an oracle message, and then there's a relationship message, and then there's actually like a career or prosperity message. So I think I'm going to leave it open to spirit and see what spirit wants you to know. But we're going to start with, where have you been? So we're going to start with past energy, and you'll know if this is resonating or not. So first we're going to shuffle. I hope you are all doing well today. One more shuffle. One more shuffle. All right. So, one thing I do want to say from what I'm seeing from the cards, I'll just mention it. You could be someone who has been in some sort of cycle where your energy isn't being reciprocated, and that doesn't just have to be with love. That could be with friendship, that could be with family, that could be with your work. And I think you are deserving of reciprocal energy. And one thing I mentioned in that reading I did yesterday, because I've been trying to do also non-love related readings. I'm still going to do love readings, don't worry. But I just wanted to add something a little different into my workflow. But one thing that was coming up was something about reciprocal energy. And I was reflecting on that this morning. And I was thinking about how, I was thinking of the example of being in a restaurant, and I'm someone, like, if they send me the wrong meal, I'll probably just eat it because I'm too afraid to speak up, because I've been a people pleaser my whole life. And I was thinking of that in terms of reciprocal energy or energetic imbalance, not equal give and take. So you could be someone who, wants reciprocal energy, but maybe you've been stuck in a never-ending, I saw the never-ending story. So you could be someone who's been kind of stuck in a cycle of not receiving. And maybe you've been attracting those kind of friendships in, or those types of relationships in. And maybe you continue to give to situations like that. And it's almost like I was hearing the example of like ordering something at a restaurant. They give you the wrong thing. And instead of saying something and saying, well, I don't want this. I want what I originally ordered. I want what's going to satisfy me. You could be someone who tried to make it work. Anyway, I was hearing something about yesterday that if you continue to give to situations that don't give back to you, you're kind of sending that energy out that you are willing to accept less than you deserve or less than your standards. Oh dear. My dogs are losing their minds. Maybe for fear that a better meal won't come along or a better job won't come along. Oh my goodness. Or a better relationship. Oh my gosh. I'm just gonna... Never mind. I was gonna pause it, but they stopped. So anyway, I guess my point is you deserve to have high standards. You deserve to have what you desire. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because I did see exchanging gifts, which is about reciprocal energy and equal give and take. And then I saw the never-ending story card, which is about, repeating patterns. So I just wanted to mention it. I'm not sure if that'll come back out, But if the universe keeps sending you those types of relationships or jobs or circumstances, you need to change your order, is what I'm hearing. Like, change your order. I don't want this. I want what I originally ordered. And I'm hearing, I'm seeing Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. Anyway, I don't know what the symbology of that is, but I wanted to mention it because it was a download I was getting. So let's get into your reading. We have community. So it could be that, it could be kind of what I was saying, like maybe you haven't found your community yet, or you haven't found your tribe yet, or you haven't found that, are you kidding me? Hang on. Anyway. Someone mowing the lawn. I can't remember what I was saying before I got distracted. But this community card does talk about the proper dance. And we have feminine energy here. So perhaps you... Community talks about the balance and dance between two people. And yin talks about the energy of receiving. So maybe in the past you've been more in masculine energy, you've been more of a giver, and maybe what you want is to receive. What's really interesting is I was watching, I do bring up TV shows that I find like symbolism in, so I'm going to bring it up. But I was watching Love is Blind UK. Don't judge me. Only I'm allowed to judge me. But there was this woman who was saying that she wanted someone who would give to her, someone who was open with her. She wanted someone to invest in her and show her affection, make their feelings known. And then she had, you know, two people that she was talking to, and one of them was doing all of those things and the other wasn't. And because she had spent so long being the giver and not the receiver, it actually scared her when someone was giving to her, because she didn't know what to do with that energy because she had never experienced it before. And she actually started to self-sabotage a little. Anyway, she just popped into my head, so I wanted to bring it up. But let's get back to your reading. So we're going to look at where you have been. So this is about past energy. So show me what the viewer needs to know about the past. We have flexible and time to go. So it does feel higher power. Interesting. So with the flexible card coming out, that is masculine energy. And what I'm hearing is whether it's friendships, whether it's jobs, you could have been very flexible. And maybe, you know, like I was saying, kind of about what I was saying when you're at a restaurant and they bring you the wrong order. I'm the type of person in the past who would just be like, oh, I'm flexible, I'll just eat it, that's no problem. But, you know, you should get what you want. You should get what you deserve. And this energy of flexible, like I said, it is masculine energy because it's 19. And perhaps you've always been the one to be flexible and to compromise and to bend for the other person, whatever that is. Flexible also talks about like, for example, if this is about work, maybe for your job, you were always willing to like break your back for the company you worked for, or you'd be willing to bend over backwards for your friends. But then when you needed support, they weren't there. Flexible also talks about, I keep getting distracted, masculine energy. So in the past, you could have been more of the one who took the lead, who put in effort, who initiated conversation, initiated plans. And maybe it's time for you to find your community or find a job where you start to receive some of that back. And this flexible card talks about you may have met someone that wasn't your regular type with this flexible card, or you could have been working for a company or doing a job that you didn't think you'd be doing, or being friends with someone you didn't really like, they weren't your usual type of friend, if that makes sense. There is an energy with this flexible where you could have been dealing with someone, no matter what the relationship was, you could have been dealing with someone who always wanted to be right and who wanted to, maybe they always wanted to be in control or they always wanted to be right. And perhaps you bent over backwards, trying to please them or appease them. And then we have time to go. So it feels like there was something that you probably walked away from. And with higher power underneath, you could have been guided to walk away from this, or this person was brought into your life so that you would learn not to bend and break for others. Anyway, time to go does symbolize the walking away. So someone, either you walked away or someone you were connected to walked away. And I feel like you were really willing to bend, but at what cost, right? I'm just going to look at the book for time to go. Could be dealing with Leo energy. 45. Where are you? So yeah, endings, walking away from something because something wasn't working and there was nothing else to experience. And like I said, with that flexible card, I feel like you tried to be flexible, you tried to meet this situation head on, whatever it is, but you can only bend so long before you kind of start losing yourself, I'm hearing. You could have been, very willing to compromise, and in the end, you kind of lost yourself a little. And yeah, it talks about like you could have been dealing with someone who wanted to be right. I'm just looking at, I just want to look at flexible for a minute, because with time to go, it feels like it's something. You could have also been manifesting something here with a flexible card. You could have been manifesting something, and maybe, I was talking about ordering something, and then you get it and you're like, well, I'll just eat it. You could have been manifesting something, just like I was talking about that woman. You could have been manifesting a job that appreciated you, or a friendship that, was reciprocal, or a relationship that was reciprocal. And maybe this person, whoever this is that you were dealing with in your past, walked into your life, and maybe you tried to keep an open mind to see if you could make it work. But it definitely feels like there was some lack of flexibility on their side, whatever the situation. And it's almost like you could have stopped growing with this flexible card. You could have stopped growing, or the situation you were connected to could have stopped growing and evolving. And maybe one of the lessons was for you to learn, to walk away from what's not working. It also talks about a situation where there are no winners or losers, and that's giving me distorted masculine energy. So there could have been a situation where there was, you know, it didn't matter how much you bent over backwards, it was never enough. And that's enough to break anyone down. And if you didn't have the, like if you had a fear of loss or a fear of being alone or whatever it was, and you were hesitant to walk away, the universe could have removed it. We also have higher power under here, which I've mentioned. So this could have been an opportunity for you in the past to walk away from something where you were losing yourself so that you could strengthen your connection with your intuition or with spirit or whatever your higher power is. All right. So there was some kind of ending here in the past, and you were meant to take the lessons from it moving forward. It talks about how this relationship was no longer, there was no longer growth happening here with the flexible card and time to go. And it wasn't, maybe it wasn't adding any value to your life, whatever this relationship was. Like I said, we can keep it open. It could have been a friendship, could have been family, could have been work. It also talks about two people drifting apart. So you and this person could have got quite distant with each other. Things could have become quite dry, quite confusing, and there was an ending here. And it says, if you want something more, if you want something deeper, walk away. And for those of you who are, you know, watching for love, I'm not saying that by walking away, it was completely the end. But clearly you bent over backwards here to the point where maybe you broke yourself a little. And even if you want, the crow's outside, but I had to shut my window. Even if you want to be with this person, clearly there was like a clash here or blockages. And the only way to clear those blockages is to walk away and kind of have that hanged man energy so that new perspectives can come and healing can happen. It also mentions for work, it's time to walk towards something new. So there could have been, like I said, a job where you were kind of breaking your back in it and not feeling like you were getting anywhere. You weren't advancing in the job. Maybe you were losing money. And this card for career talks about walking away from that towards something new. So I just want to read the protection message to you because I was hearing it for love. Even if it appears that you've reached the end of the line and all is lost, it isn't. And it does talk about how you could be in a situation that will resurface again later. And that's kind of what I was hearing with a love situation. So there is the potential of it resurfacing again later, but that destiny is in charge here. And there was a need to surrender it. And your soul knows that your destiny is unfolding with perfect timing. Your small self has doubts, but that is natural as it doesn't have the map to your destiny, the soul does. Spirit loves you, trust that. So whatever this is that ended, you need to trust in it right now. So let's see where you are now. Where are you now? Equal, give, and take. That's the card I saw. So it feels like you want something reciprocal. You want equal give and take. That's magic. I also want to say something else is that I was just getting like 3 of Pentacles energy from this because there's like 3 circular mounds here. earth energy, pentacle, like because it's earth, it's ground. And that gives me the energy that you did try and cooperate. You did try and get on the same page, but it feels like you were unable to do so. We have to the sea. Interesting. So this kind of shows I feel like you're moving towards something more reciprocal. And to the sea, we see this person alone in the boat. It's also 7, which is chariot energy. Cancer energy could be symbolic. But it feels like right now you could be alone. That's interesting. And I think it's interesting how that arrow is pointing right at this card. Cats could be symbolic. It almost feels like you're manifesting reciprocal energy. And I think it's cool how we have this face here. What is that they have in the boat? It kind of looks like a piece of paper. So you could be manifesting equal give and take, reciprocity, someone who can give to you, or a job or a friendship that can give to you. And this beautiful card has this similar face and the box is opening. So I feel like, right now you may feel like you're out at sea alone, but that there is a gift coming towards you. And I feel like it's kind of tying in with that reading from yesterday. I'm going to have to open my window back up because whoever was doing that is done. So the law of giving and receiving. So that's kind of what I was getting at in the beginning. Like when you think about that thing that I was talking about with dinner or supper at a restaurant, and the restaurant like gives you the wrong thing and you're like, oh, well, I'll just take it. So you're about to enter a productive and enriching time when all manners of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them. Yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in a dance of give and take, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. And I feel like that is what happened in the past. And that community card talked about doing a dance. That's exactly my point. So if you were in a situation where you were just giving, you're not, of course that's not fair to you, but you're also not doing your side of the dance. You're not even involved in that dance, right? So it's important that if you want equal give and take, that even if you're afraid of being alone or losing something, stand firm in your standards. You deserve that reciprocity. This is not the time to just do, give. And it talks about being mindful of the value others bring into your life. That's exactly what I was talking about. So it could have been that you were connected to a situation that wasn't bringing value to your life. Didn't I say adding value to your life? I swear I said that. And if you continue to break yourself for something that's not adding value to your life, you're kind of sending a message like, I don't deserve more. And that comes from like fear. It comes from wounding. It comes from fear of being alone. I talked about that yesterday in that reading. And in order for love to flourish, there needs to be equal give and take. That's what the relationship part of this card is talking about. And I've tried to explain that to people, but some people just don't get it. That a relationship, no matter what type of relationship, can't thrive and grow if it's only one-sided. Like, think about a plant. I don't know why I'm giving all these examples, but think of a plant. Most plants need sun and they need water, right? So think about you and another person tending to a plant, and their job is to give it sun, and your job is to give it water. If you are constantly watering, and the plant isn't getting any sun, that plant is not going to flourish and grow. Make it make sense. Anyway, so Spirit wants you to start being open to the idea that you deserve that reciprocal energy. And that if you are in any type of situation where you're giving and they're not adding value to your life, even if it's a job, that relationship will become imbalanced. It can't flourish. It can't evolve. Life force energy, it says, life force energy. It's an exchange of life force energy that can only grow when it is reciprocated. This card also talks as far as career, because I'm trying to cover everything here, that whatever effort you're putting in towards your career right now, you will be rewarded. So if you are working towards something and you kind of feel lost at sea, there is some sort of gift or blessing coming towards you. So your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, aligning synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. And you know, I always think of the song, I think it's Wheel by John Mayer. And at the very end of the song, he says, I'm going to see the love I give return to me. But if you're giving to situations that don't add value to your life, those situations are kind of taking up space in your life so that the universe can't give them back to you, if that makes sense. And I mentioned how, you know, I used to have friendships that were very one-sided. And I always I'm seeing Lilo in Lilo and Stitch, where she's like praying for a friend. And that's kind of how I felt, because my friendships felt surface level. I felt like I was always there for my friend and they weren't there for me when I needed them. And once I started making space in my life and I stopped pouring my energy into those friendships that weren't giving back to me, eventually, it took a little bit, eventually I aligned with more reciprocal friendships. I have two now, two. And actually, it happened very quickly when I made the space in my life. Even this year, I didn't lose contact, but, you know, I was kind of watering a dead plant, so to speak. Sent a message. They never responded to me. And I thought, I'm just going to stop giving to this, because it feels like I'm kind of bending over backwards to give myself in this situation and not getting anything back. And I'm not even kidding, within 4 weeks, I had made another friend who, you know, those Instagram posts you see about when two givers become friends, it's like magic. You water me, I water you. That's exactly what it's like. So sometimes you have to make room in your life to get what you want. And that goes for like work too, I think. Anyway, sorry, Mr. Amethyst. All right. So hopefully that made sense to you. And returning to source. So right now you are supposed to be returning to source, returning, like I said, connecting with your higher power, connecting with your higher self. And it could feel like It could feel like you're kind of out to sea right here, but this is good because this is your current energy. And this card talks about allowing things to flow naturally. So no longer forcing things, allowing things to flow into your life, to flow out of your life if they're not aligned with you. Yeah, it talks about everything seems to work out when you stop scrambling. So when you stop bending over backwards, when you stop, this card is about being in flow and just trusting where the journey leads. And it's leading to this, is what I'm hearing. I'm going to read the protection message for you. Actually, I'm going to read something else to you. So to get into that flow, you need to address your beliefs. So if you don't believe that you're worthy of having a successful career, being in the spotlight, if you don't believe that you're worthy of abundance, if you don't believe that you're not worthy of having connections where they give just as much as you give and they match your energy, then that can block things from coming in. And it says everything flows from your inner world and is reflected in the outer world. So if you have a narrative that back here, well, this is as good as I can get. Maybe I'm expecting too much. If you have that inner narrative, then that's what you'll receive, is what I'm trying to say. So if you believe you're worthy of equal give and take, if you believe you're worthy of that expansive, reciprocal life force energy with another person or your career, if you believe that you're worthy of abundance, then that is what will flow to you. And you could have some blockages or wounding about around sense of self-worth or lack, even like money. So I'm just going to read the protection message to you. When external conditions appear to block every attempt to move forward, there is no hidden message for you to decipher. Like the ocean, the tides of experience ebb and flow. You are in a natural cycle, so know that these things will flow again in due course. There is no cause for alarm. Stop resisting and fighting against the situation and learn to flow, even when the tide is going out. Relax and trust that the abundance will soon be within your reach again. An ancient mariner, is that how you say that? Saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. I like that. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And I mentioned yesterday about no longer fighting the currents. Just, again, I don't know I'm not talking about actual whitewater rafting, but imagine you're whitewater rafting and you're supposed to be going with the current, going with the flow, but you're fighting it. It's going to take you longer to get there. And where is all this bringing you? Where is this journey taking you? Where is this journey taking, my friend? So we have building blocks. Oh, I feel like that's a sign. For those of you, listen, for those of you, I was getting a message about a love situation when I saw the time to go. So for some of you, there is a message that a situation, love situation, friendship situation, maybe even a job, whatever you walked away from here in the past, does have the potential to come back around. Remember, I read that message. It doesn't mean it's the end. It just means that right now is not the right time, because that time to go card came out with building blocks. So that could be an indication that whatever that situation was comes back around. And I've experienced that in my life before, where people come back, or, you know, you stand up for yourself at work, say, I deserve better hours, I deserve better pay, I'm going to go somewhere else. And then that company that you walked away from offers you a promotion or offers you a raise. But you can't come to a compromise when you're the only one bending and breaking, is what I'm hearing. Anyway, I wanted to mention it because it flipped out. And we have community. We've come full circle, my friends. We have community and we have yin. So whatever this is, it's leading you towards a solid foundation. Building blocks is about a solid foundation. It can also be about rebuilding something. And with community, that's what I was talking about. Like, this is taking you towards a community or a job or a person that can do that dance with you so that you can finally receive feminine energy. That's where it's taking you, so that you can get your cup filled up, so that you're not the only one filling cups, if that makes sense. Strong foundations. So you are cultivating an extraordinary life right now. That's the message. That's where you're heading. You're cultivating an extraordinary life. Whatever situation you're asking about. So you're building foundations, strong foundations with your work, relationships, and your very being are being underwritten by your values. Remember your values. Values are important. And if something isn't adding value to your life, it shouldn't be taking up space in your life. Ethics, morals, and core beliefs. You are making changes that will affect everything in a positive way. Your destiny is truly a remarkable and beautiful design. Beautiful. So you're designing something very, I want to say epic, but you're designing right now by focusing on, your standards, your core beliefs, your values. That's what you're going to get in the future. And this one, you are attracting new relationships into your life. So you are attracting in new people, including possibly a community with the community card. And all this is coming to you because of everything we talked about here. And solidifying other ones. So for some of you, this could be about someone from your past. By building them on the foundations of honesty, humility, clear communication, and a genuine desire to know one another. You are moving towards laying the groundwork for a relationship with a firm footing that will ensure it can withstand any storm. Perfect. Long-standing relationships are also repaired and strengthened. You and the other person are stronger, wiser, and more powerful together than apart. And I'm going to read the prosperity message. You have everything you need to turn iron into gold in the alchemical process of creating the prosperous life you desire. Now is the time to build on the strong foundation you have laid for your prosperity. This is future. This is what you're being set up for. Keep in mind that these building blocks are full of sparkling energy of your intentions. Own your dream and remember that you always have more than enough, and you always are enough, so abundance is ever present. Your creativity is divinely inspired, and the design for your life is taking shape in service to the world. You are meant for success. Beautiful. Love it. Lovely. All right. So now I'm just going to get a few tarot cards for you. Just a few. And we'll just get one for each. Eight of Feathers, that's the Eight of Swords. So limiting beliefs could be a blockage here. We have the Nine of Acorns, which is the Nine of Wands. Power and perseverance. And we have the Eight of Crystals, which is the Eight of Pentacles, dedication and progress. Wow. That looks really good if I'm taking it as like Eight of Swords, Nine of Wands, Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. Limiting beliefs, possibly wounding or trauma that keeps you stuck, overthinking, maybe feeling a little bit trapped. Nine of Wands, persevering with hope and determination, self-improvement, the final push. Eight of Pentacles, commitment, self-mastery, strong foundation. All right. So we have the Seven of Feathers. Preparation, resourcefulness. That's interesting. Seven of Feathers is Seven of Swords. That's interesting. All right. I want to read you. I want to look at the Seven of Swords in this book. You know, Seven of Swords can be about not wanting to admit the truth about something, like not wanting to, like maybe you knew you were bending over backwards here in the past. Preparation and resourcefulness. How interesting. So I'm just going to read this to you. If an approach has not been bringing the desired results, change your strategy. So in the past, your approach of bending over backwards being too flexible, maybe you needed to change your strategy is what I was hearing. And this also like the cheetah makes me think of masculine energy. So your message. A warrior, cheetah knows her strength and masters her natural abilities. Armed with foresight, she responds swiftly with new approaches to problems. So you could have changed your approach here in the past and maybe stopped bending over backwards. Cheetah guides you in focusing on your goal, helping you reach it with ease and grace, and now you're in the flow. Love it. Using your initiative, be prepared to make your move. Time to go. Remember that card? Keep yourself ahead of the game by closely observing what is going on. With eyes and mind open, dishonest behavior will be revealed. Interesting. Look within, study all angles. You instinctively know what steps you need to take to bring forth the best results. And I feel like that has to do with that and that time to go. So let's get a card for past energy. Past energy. We have the King of Crystals. And we have the High Priestess. So it does feel like, for some of you, this could be work related, but it feels like maybe you had an inner knowing that you were more committed to whatever this was. The King of Crystals is Pentacles, and we have a Tiger, Tiger is technically divine feminine energy. The cheetah is divine masculine. So I feel like in the past, whatever this was, you were more committed, or you were showing up in a more committed way. And maybe whatever the situation was, your intuition could have been telling you something was off. Maybe you ignored your intuition, or your intuition told you that it was time to go, right? King of Pentacles shows that you were very dedicated and committed to whatever this was. But I don't think it was being reciprocated. The crows are crowing outside. Let me see. Yeah, I feel like you were very consistent towards whatever this was. And whatever problem came up, you tried to be flexible. It does talk about instability. Like there was something that became unstable here in the past. You were committed to it. You were dedicated. You put in a lot of effort. And because possibly it wasn't being reciprocated in the same way, it became very unstable. And whatever it was, it feels like you weren't seeing the rewards of your effort. You weren't seeing it bring value to your life, whatever that was for you. Let's get current energy. Current energy. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Divine feminine energy. It's a bunny. We have a bunny and a buffalo. The letter B could be symbolic. Today's reading is brought to you by the letter B. The Empress. So you're kind of allowing things to flow to you rather than chasing them, right? And we have the Eight of Crystals, dedication and process. So right now, and you can see this buffalo, there's all these crystals growing underground and you can't see them yet, but they're there. And they're going to pop out here in the future. You're going to see them. That's your current energy. And if you're not in this energy, this is the energy that you need to embody. And on the bottom, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So there's new beginnings being planted here is what I'm hearing. The Empress. And I just want to show you, look, we have Ace of Pentacles and we have the Ace of Cups. So you could be also focusing on self-love. But manifestation. Beautiful. Embodying the divine, Embodying the feminine divine, Rabbit's world is grown from love and beauty. She is an emissary, I don't know how to say that, of simple pleasures and a guardian of safety and trust. Now begins a period of growth and abundance through the compassionate spirit of Rabbit. Her energy will assist you in nurturing the birth of new ideas and create beauty in your life. With patience, the finest rewards will be reaped. Expect great outcomes. Yeah. Yeah. It just feels like you're not yet at your destination, and that's okay. You'll get there. So creativity, growth, beauty, abundance, comfort, sensuality, fertility, patience, compassion. And I feel like whatever this was in the past with the Empress coming out in the upright, I just want to read you the Empress in reverse because I feel like it's connected to the past. When it feels as though your efforts have been brought to a standstill, It's time to release yourself from emotional burdens. Take time out to restore harmony and balance. So to me, that's very telling. It also talks about lack of growth, which I talked about with this, stagnation, neglect. I'm sending you love. And 8 of Crystals, self-mastery. So effort, dedication, progress. So maybe you can't see the progress yet, but you're making it. Strength. Strong and stable buffalo walks his sacred path, embarking on his journey with dedication. He's devoted to putting all of his effort into reaching his destination. Buffalo is full steam ahead on his road to glory, and his commitment is proving to be worthwhile. He's here to remind you that even if your work seems tedious, just keep going. And this is on page 88. So 888 could be symbolic. Be adaptable, develop your craft, and plan your moves. With vigilance and care, know that you will be met with success. So try not to get frustrated with the limitations. Be patient. You'll get there. And let's look at the future energy of what this is bringing in. What are you heading towards? What is all this bringing in? What is this bringing in, Spirit? Let's be dramatic, shall we? We have temperance, balance and harmony. Yeah. Your patience will pay off. And whatever you are, the world. Can't get more beautiful than that. Fulfillment, celebration, the world. And temperance. And 10 of cups. This is what this is bringing in. Listen, we also have a renewal here, an awakening with the peacock. That's beautiful. Foundation, look. Ace of Feathers, foundation. Foundation. Love it. That's magic. All right, so blessings, 10 of shells, emotional fulfillment, temperance, balance, harmony, the world, fulfillment, and celebration. And you bet your butt that I'm going to read all of these to you. This is what you're heading towards. So, the world. Fulfillment, celebration, completion, growth, goals achieved. Yeah. The guardian of the cosmos, Whale's awareness of the world around her provides her with a deeper connection to all that is. In reaching her destination, she dives, and I kept saying that you will reach your destination. My kids are squealing. In reaching her destination, she dives into the portal of new potential. She is here to call to mind that life is a continuous process of becoming. You've worked hard and are nearing the end of the finish line. Everything is successfully coming together. Celebrate your achievements. Your consciousness is moving towards higher levels. The insight you've acquired has empowered you with a deeper connection to the energies around and within you. Beautiful. And achievement will come with time and patience. So try not to be disappointed if it's taking a while. I know it's hard. Trust me, I am not patient. I am not patient at all. I get it. And we have temperance. Excuse the squealing children. Zebra pilots the harmony of opposites. Self-disciplined, she will show you how to find balance and how to face problems with an air of calm. As her stripes, the yin-yang duality of opposites brings forth the ability to maintain balance. She wants you to recognize challenge as a chance for growth. and to know that opposing forces will enable you to see a deeper truth. A bringer of clarity, she will show you how you can better pace yourself in order to make the best decisions. Consider your next steps with patience and understanding, as any new situation takes time to adapt. By being receptive and in harmony, you are allowing higher powers to help guide you. Healing takes place as you correct the imbalances. So balance, harmony, healing, connection, cooperation, patience. And this card talked about like maybe there was a lack of cooperation, remember? And then we have the 10 of Cups. Pelican relaxes by the healing waters of abundance and warms herself beneath the invigorating light of the sun. Savoring each special moment, she takes time to enjoy what life has to offer. Loyal and social, Pelican recognizes the importance of family and friends. She encourages you to embrace your inner happiness and to share in celebration with loved ones. Enjoy the company of those you care about and add value to your life. And look forward to many good times ahead filled with pleasure and joy. Emotional stability, joy, harmony, blessings, well-being, peace, gatherings, communication, gratitude, dreams coming true. Yes. So, there you go, my friend. I'm just going to get you a few surrender cards to see if there's anything that you need to surrender. What do you need to surrender? What do you need to surrender, or what did you need to surrender? Surrender to your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always, whether you're afraid of change in your job, your health, or a relationship. Or if you fear aging and death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. I have to read this because I did talk about this. Surrender your belief in scarcity. I talked about a lack mindset. The universe is asking you to be open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. All right, let's just get two more. 1, 2, there we go. Surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, or, I'm hearing, add value to your life, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and surrounded by positive people. Truth. Truth. Surrender to what is. Flow. Flow. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. Yes. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. Surrender stubbornness. If you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This will help you communicate more lovingly with yourself and others. All right, so I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I am sending you lots of love and light, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.